Today is going to be a different kind of video. I'm going to take you guys along with me out to the garage and take a look at my DIY cold plunge. So let me finish up with this plunge and let's talk about it. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Gear Budget. Today we're taking a look at this budget-friendly DIY cold plunge setup. We're going to talk about the benefits of cold plunging or cold immersion therapy if you've not heard of it, and go through some of the benefits that it can bring to you. If you are looking to boost recovery, reduce inflammation, and enhance your mental clarity, then this video is for you. Let's dive right in. It's been gaining popularity for its numerous health benefits, and today I'm going to show you how you can experience those benefits for yourself without spending a fortune. My cold plunge journey started last year. During the summer months and the scorching Texas summers, working outside, I was looking for a way to cool my body off quickly once I got home. I began just filling up my bathtub in the house and adding as much ice as I could from the various freezers at home and getting the water as cold as I could to cool my body down quickly. However, I quickly realized the benefits went well beyond just cooling down my body temp. After experiencing the incredible benefits of cold plunging, I knew I wanted to continue to do it, but I needed to find a more efficient way to do it every day. The groundwater in Texas during the summers is about 95 degrees due to the heat, and so I needed a more convenient way to keep my water cold. At that point, I went down to Tractor Supply and picked up this 100-gallon Rubbermaid trough that you see here. And when I first got this tub, all I did was wrap it in insulation. I placed it on a double layer of this 2-inch thick foam board you can get down at your local hardware store. I bought one sheet of the stuff and I used it to make the base to set it on to insulate it from the concrete ground and protect it from the heat there. I also used it to build the DIY lid to insulate the top to help keep the water colder for longer. And then to keep the water clean, I used an old pool pump that we had from an inflatable pool that we had bought the summer before, just had it laying around in the garage, decided to put it on here to help keep the water clean and keep everything circulating. And then to keep my water cold or to cool my water, I bought some 2-gallon buckets from the local hardware store. I would dip the buckets into the water, fill them up, put them in the deep freezer. 24 hours later, I had a 2-gallon bucket worth of an ice block that I would then the next day put into the tub to cool the water down enough to do my cold plunge. And I would do this each and every day that I would use the cold plunge. Now, after doing it this way for about 6 months, I decided I'm still really enjoying doing this. I'm doing it almost every day. I try to do it 5 out of the 7 days of the week. I decided I needed to make it easier on myself because I was getting tired of making ice every day and cooling the water manually. And I wanted a way that the water would just be cold all the time, day or night. Anytime I want a cold plunge, I can hop in and it's at the right temperature. So at that point, I decided, okay, let's step it up another notch. Let's upgrade the system again. As you see here, it is now covered in spray foam. I use these cans of spray foam you get from your hardware store. I used about 18 cans of that stuff to fully encapsulate this tub. I did the bottom of it as well as all the way around the sides. I then painted it black with some spray undercoating that you would put underneath the car to protect it from water and salt and things of that nature. So I wanted to be able to protect that foam for as long as we could, and it made it look a little nicer because I'm not going to wrap it in anything else. It just sits in the garage, looks fine for me, and it's cost effective. So between the DIY insulated lid that I built and encapsulating the unit in the spray foam, this 100-gallon trough will hold the water temperature within 5 to 10 degrees over a given day when they were having 100-degree days. And inside the garage, it could be up to 120 in the summers. And this water I keep the cold plunge at 46 degrees. And then the final piece of the puzzle was I added a 1/3 horsepower chiller that I bought online at Walmart. It was the best price I could find on it at the time because they were on sale. Normally, Amazon would be the go-to. Again, guys, I'll post links to everything down in the description below if you're interested in building a plunge like this. Check the description, I'll put links down there, but a 1/3 horsepower chiller for the 100-gallon trough. And I would say I'd probably keep this trough filled to between 60 and 70 gallons. The 1/3 horsepower chiller and the 100-degree heat in Texas keeps the water very cold, no problem. The chiller has to work about 6 to 8 hours a day to maintain the water temperature, but it's not a bad deal at all. The water stays within 1 degree of 46 at all times. And to help maintain the water temperature, the chiller does have settings in it where the chiller will turn on and off at a certain set point that you set it on. I wanted a little bit better control. I actually purchased an Inkbird temperature controller off of Amazon. The Inkbird temperature controller has a probe that sits in the water at all times, okay? The chiller and the pump is connected to the Inkbird. Once my temperature in the cold plunge gets above, I have it set at 46. So once the water hits 47, it turns everything on, the pump and the chiller, and it recirculates the water, cools it back down. Whenever it hits 46, it'll shut off. Usually, there's a little bit of a delay between the temperature readings. And so usually it'll get down to about 45 and a half, 45.7. But once it shuts off, it'll take several hours for the temperature to rise back up to 47. And then everything kicks back on again to knock it back down. And it shuts back off and just rinse and repeat. That's what it does throughout the day. But all in all, it runs about 6 to 8 hours depending on the ambient temperature outside. But it does a great job of maintaining the temperature. But what's cool about the Inkbird is that I can check on my phone and see the temperature of the tank at any given time. And I have it all connected to my Alexa, and so that I can control it remotely and have things on routines and things of that nature, and it makes things really helpful. Now, cold plunging offers a host of benefits, and a few that I personally have experienced are significantly reducing muscle soreness and fatigue after intense workouts, or just if you work outside in the heat, it can really take a toll on your body. But by doing a cold plunge when you get home in the evening, can reduce all your inflammation inside of your body, reduce muscle soreness, and help you to recover quicker. The second thing that I've noticed since cold plunging is a boost in my immune system. The cold water immersion, the cold water therapy, whatever you want to call it, cold plunging, can increase circulation within the body, and that can increase your immune system to help prevent you from getting sick as often. But the biggest thing that I've noticed, guys, is the mental clarity from doing the cold plunge. This is the hardest thing that I do every single day. I always want to do it, but I never want to do it at the same time. Once I've done it, I'm so thankful that I have. The mental clarity that you can receive from getting in this cold water, the shock to your body. The only thing you can do is focus on your breath, because if you don't, you might hyperventilate. Getting in this water, this extremely cold water, once you get in, the shock that the water places on your body and on your mind can help to train your brain to be able to handle stress easier. So now we've talked about the benefits, we've talked about my journey, how I got here. Let's just talk a little bit about how you can build this for yourself. So let's recap. 100-gallon Rubbermaid trough. Scratch that. Before that, try it out. Get in your bathtub. Go to the store, buy a few bags of ice, dump it in the bathtub. Get in there. See what you think. After the first time that I did this, guys, I felt like I was hooked. It was absolutely incredible, the way that it made me feel, the way that it made my mind so crystal clear, the way it made my body feel. I was able to sleep better. I tend to do this only in the evenings when most people do it in the mornings. I find that in the evenings it helps me better because at the end of the day, my body's tired, I'm sore. I get home, I take a shower, I do this, and I'm ready to chill, guys. I have no pain, my mind is clear, the stresses from the day have melted away. So try it out. Get in the bathtub, go buy a couple bags of ice, see what you think. If you enjoy it, 100-gallon Rubbermaid trough. I'm 6 foot. The 100 gallons plenty for me to fit into and submerge myself up to my jaw, essentially. I keep everything else underwater. So that's $100. If you want to maintain temperature, the way that I have, I spend about $75 on the spray foam, cans of spray foam, to completely encapsulate it. This spray foam on here is very thick. It cost me about $70 or $75 for all the foam. The DIY lid is, again, the base and the lid I made out of one sheet of the 2-inch insulated board. That cost me about 30 bucks. I then wrapped it in a tarp that you see here. The tarp, 10 bucks, right? I made it a little nicer. I put some wooden slats on top. Those are just cedar fence slats from the hardware store. Probably spent 10 bucks on that. The pool pump, that was a freebie. I already had it. But if you wanted to buy that same thing, Amazon, they're about 60 bucks. The chiller is the most expensive part of the whole system. I think I paid about between $250 and $300 for the chiller. I'll post a link in the description below for an Amazon link to get you to a 1/3 horsepower chiller that will do the trick on a budget. But with that being said, guys, I'm into this thing very inexpensively. I use it almost every single day. I've been doing this for more than a year now, and I try to do it at least 5 days a week, if not more. Sometimes it's less. If I do happen to get sick, I tend to not cold plunge just because I don't know what the repercussions of that is. If say you had the flu and you do the cold plunge, I don't know what that shock to the body is going to do. I can't imagine it's going to help, so I just don't do it if I get sick. But I don't get sick very often, so I'm able to do this pretty frequently. Maintenance of the tank is very simple. I change the water about once every 3 months. I can keep it clean as long as I shower before I cold plunge most of the time. I keep the water clean that way. I do use Epsom salt in here. I put about a couple cups of Epsom salt when I refill it into the water, let it dissolve, mix it around. And then once a week, I pour in 1 jug of hydrogen peroxide, just that I get from Walmart. It's $1 a bottle. 1 bottle a week is all I do. Keeps water clean. There's no chlorine. There's no chemicals in here. I think it's a very holistic approach to maintaining clean water chemistry in here and not bathing in filth. Water's crystal clear. I'll show you some close-ups of it. The water's crystal clear. Looks great. I also have this spa sponge that I got from Walmart. Again, you can get these on Amazon. I'll post a link. That just sits on top of the water and collects anything on the surface, any oils, anything from your skin that just floats on top of the water. That will pick it up. As the pump runs and circulates the water around, that will absorb it. Every once in a while, I'll pull that out, rinse it out in the sink, toss it back in, and it's good to go. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. The Inkbird controller, I'll put a link in the description for that. That's really all you need. And this has been a progression for me, guys. Remember, I started out in the bathtub with a couple bags of ice from the store or the ice out of the ice maker from the refrigerator. And it's a very inexpensive way to try this and see if you're going to like it. But I have a feeling that you will. It can be a scary thing to get in the water. But once you do it, I promise you that you will be thankful that you did. What it can do for you, the benefits that you get from this are absolutely incredible. I highly recommend that you give it a try if you're thinking about it, which if you're watching this video, you've been thinking about it, or you already do it, and kudos to you. I know it's not easy, but you're a rock star. I currently cold plunge at 46 degrees. The science says that you need to be below 60 degrees and do it for at least 11 minutes per week to receive all the benefits. So I do it at a minimum of 3.5 minutes per day. Some days I go more. I never go less. I at least do 3.5 minutes. Even on my worst days, if I do not want to get in the water, I do 3.5 minutes. If I'm feeling froggy, I might do 5. I might do 7. It just depends. I'm at 46 degrees, but I have worked down to that. The difference between 50 degrees and 48 degrees, those small adjustments can be intense in changing the shock factor to your body. You can work your way down. Take it slow. Do it for a week. If you feel like, okay, cool. If you notice you're not receiving some of those benefits anymore, it might be time to get the temperature down a little bit more and start again. But at least 3.5 minutes. When I first started out, I had read something, and I forget who it's from. It might have been from Andrew Huberman, but it was something along the lines of like, how long is long enough for the cold plunge? Well, what I started out doing was I would just cross 3 hurdles while I was cold plunging. So the first hurdle, on some days, the first hurdle might just be getting in. I may just not want to do it, but I make myself do it. The first hurdle's been crossed. Okay, well, the next hurdle might be, I get in, it's like, I can't get my body anymore in this water. It's too cold. Suck it up, get down, get your shoulders under that water. That might be the second hurdle. The third hurdle might be, okay, well, it's been 3.5 minutes. My timer's gone off. Cool. Do another 30 seconds. Third hurdle. Boom, you're done. You just accomplished 3 things. You've made yourself accomplish 3 things that your brain was telling you not to do. Kudos to you. That is how you build resilience. That's how you build mental strength. And that's how you overcome things. It's how you can make life easier for you by learning and adapting to be able to overcome these hardships. This is just one tool to do it. It's one that I find very valuable. I highly recommend it to anybody. But that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.